Okay. Hey guys, this is the Anchorage and welcome on back to a brand new video. So, as you can see in the image here inside of this border graphic, the border graphic is nice, it's crisp, it's clean. The camera, not so much. From my observation, I mean, I'm looking at my preview and stuff like that, and it looks a little grainy, and it seems to have been like that for some time, and I've just gone with it because that's my webcam, and that's what I'm using for these shots and stuff like that. So I was recently considering taking one of my Raspberry Pi project boards and turning it into a camera server of sorts and getting a new camera and feeding it through that to the network so that I could jump from one machine to the other as needed, stuff like that. But I decided against it. So that's what I did. So what instead, well, I may have fixed that. I don't know if I have yet, but we'll see what's going on today on MuckQuest. All right, so before I get into all of that, I want to go into a couple of neat things that we've got here, and it's me switching over my border graphic. So in my last video, I talked about a new border graphic and stuff like that, and I've actually done some additional work with it, and you'll see what it's all about. So I'm going to transition over to that right now, and it's this guy. So this is going to be my main one when I'm just chatting and stuff like that. Namely, no title bar down here at the bottom. Got that up there as usual. I've got this guy here, which is, of course, my logo. And then up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see I've got an icon of sorts that I kind of put together of the shape of the state of New Hampshire, because that's where I am. I'm in New Hampshire. It's a great state. I love it. It's got some great scenery, lots of things to do. It's beautiful. And we also have no income tax. But they get you with the property tax. That is neither here nor there, but in any sense. So with this, what I have going on with it is this is the border graphic that I use for my typical stuff like that. The changes I made regarding it are namely up in that upper right corner. Previously, I had one where I had up in that corner and down in this corner. In the background behind everything was a thing of basically the Tux mascot from Linux and stuff like that. And that whenever I do my Tux Quest videos, I'll have that up there. But I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put Tux up there and Tux down here, mainly because of that. I am going to reserve that specifically for any videos that I do, specifically for the YouTube channel Switch to Linux, because the source asset that this was designed for and built by Switch to Linux Tom himself, and he went ahead and gave it to me to use for my purposes with videos, and so that's what I'm doing. And of course you can see my changes, up there, down here, and all around there, and this guy up here. So I'm like, what can I do to make it my own? Well, you're looking at it. So what I decided is that for whatever series of the video, such as this is MuckQuest, so it's not going to be that state shape up there. It's actually going to be something that's a little more appropriate. So depending on what the series is, the icon up there is going to be specific to that series. So Dinner Quest will be the knife and the forks. West New Hampshire, I might use the border graphic on that. I might not. But that'll be the camper, let's say. This series, MuckQuest, is actually going to be a computer icon, and I've got the graphic all ready to go. I've got it set up, and we're going to see it in a minute here. But yeah, we have to wait longer. Well, I have to wait longer. For you guys, it'll be, like that. I'll do my little segue graphic, and that'll be that. I'm actually going to be working on this camera, which is essentially not working actually on it, taking it apart or anything like that. I'm just going to be replacing it. I've decided to change out my camera versus creating a camera server using one of my Raspberry Pis up in Folkmonger. The idea with that was to take one of those Raspberry Pis, create a or build a camera server, and then that way I can jump between this machine and my other machine as needed for whatever I'm doing and such like that. But I decided against it. I'm just going to switch out the camera, be done with it, because I already switched the camera between the two machines, but plugging in from one, then plug it into the other, and everything like that. So what I did was I went on a search, and I think I found the perfect camera. I'm hoping. I did find it on Amazon, and it was being sold for 88% off. That is huge. So here we got a camera that's originally upwards towards $200, and I'm getting it for 20 bucks. Yes, I looked at it and I'm like, duh, I'm gonna do that. So I ordered it yesterday. It arrives today. Yesterday was Sunday. Today's Monday. It is currently 10 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. And when I checked on the tracking, it says it's arriving today. Good. And I've got the time range for delivery between 6:30 and 9:30. Why do I have to wait that long? It's on the delivery truck. I saw the status update saying it was on the delivery truck, and it just unhooks it. It's like a 15-minute drive from here. Why is it going to take anywhere from 3.5 to 6.5 hours? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of places to stop between there and here, but seriously, come on. But, so, I'm actually going to switch over here. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Pardon me. Oh, my word. But in any sense, yeah. So here we are. So, see? So when I have MuckQuest going on, I've got a computer icon up there in that corner. And I also decided that on the title bar, I'm going to put the title of what I'm talking about on this side versus this side. So there we go. I have some sort of thing about putting stuff on the right-hand side. Freya will know what I'm talking about. Because I trained her, and everything in our manual was originally lined up, like titles and stuff like that was originally lined up on the right side of the page versus the left, because I need to be different. I need to be me. I need my kind of thing. So we have a new webcam going on, so when I switch over to it, I'll actually get rid of the title bar, and we'll just have the icon up there. So I'm not going to delay very much on that. So I just want to say, hey, I found a camera. I'll unbox it, unbag it in front of the camera. This one, the setup, and then we'll do the connections and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm going to start off here on this camera. So yeah, it looks like this, so you can get a good look around. You can kind of see, I see kind of like a Gaussian blur / graininess, namely over up in here between the couch and the flag that I've got there. Yeah, that looks like the French flag, but that's actually the flag for Acadia. There's a Star of Mary in the blue right up here, right above my finger. So it's yellow and it's a star. So there we go. There's that. Yeah, but if you look in that on the wall between that and the couch, you know, that's like it's kind of a beige of sorts, and you know, with the less light, it looks almost kind of sort of grainy. So this camera is a 1080p camera, and it says it automatically adjusts for light and stuff like that. It's also wide angle, so The view might actually change a little bit. I'm hoping not too much, but enough so that it actually takes care of that grain and gives a much sharper, better clarity picture. So why don't we stop here, and I'll come right back. Okay, well, it is now 8:15 at night, and it left on the delivery truck at around 11:35 this morning, and it just got delivered in the past 15 minutes. Here it is. I'm not bothering taking it out for unboxing tonight. The day's been full of frustrations, and this is the big one. The other one is, if you look at the border graphic, that's a whole new, brand new border graphic that I actually had to build from scratch today because I did something stupid. The master file that I use to change these up and stuff like that got done, had changes done and stuff like that. And then sometime after that, it disappeared, gone, which means I somehow deleted it. It was on a file server, which does not have a recycle bin. So I did this one and I put it on a drive that does have a recycle bin, trash bin, something like that. So I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Okay, we are back, and it is now the next day, the next morning. Everything's looking great. I'm all showered, I'm all shaved, and everything like that, and it's looking great. So we are going to start this off with, well, we're going to have a moment for RenoQuest. As you can see, I've got my new RenoQuest icon up there in the corner. I just did that before I came on. And for this particular piece, this is nothing really big. It's just a quick little note, stuff like that. So folks that get really cold in the wintertime, namely the northern part of the country, more so in the Northeast in New Hampshire, like here. And, we have to deal with the cold and with our homes and stuff like that, especially older homes. We have to deal with insulation and, heat and things of that sort. And, a lot of homes get really cold because there is cold air bleeding into their rooms and stuff like that. Namely, where there's walls that are towards the outside of the building. So I live in a condo, and of course I am in a unit with two walls that go to the outside. I've got one right there, but this is the living room. This room has no problems because of what I've done in the past couple of years. However, my bedroom, it's in the corner, and so there's two walls, and they are, against the outside, and of course it's brick on the outer part of the wall. And I swear the insulation is horrible. It's just horrible because this building was built back in '72. And I swear it's nothing more than jean material. I mean, it's that thin. It's not all that good. So it gets cold in there. So I'm doing everything I can to do that. And I've got one particular thing. One of our air bleed points, very common, is power socket, light switches, things of that sort. And so the company duct, this is not sponsored by them or anything like that. A neighbor, asked me a few nights ago to help install a new thermostat. And while I was there, she goes, "Hey, do you happen to have those socket sealers?" Stuff like that. And so I'm like, "No, I don't." So she gave me this box here, socket sealers. These are sealers to put, you take the plates off of sockets, the outer plates, or your light switches and stuff like that, and then all it is just a little piece of foam, and I've got a couple here. It comes in a big bunch, it's like a big thick bunch, but this is basically what it looks like. But these have punch outs for it. So this one here is a rectangular one, and what you do is you just punch it out like so, and then you tear it off like this. You take off that front plate, and then you place this over or around the actual switch mechanism. You place this over it, then you take your plate and I'll just use this as the example. You just put that back on, screw it back on, you're done. And the idea for these is this area is where there isn't anything. There's a gap there, and that is where the air is bleeding in. So it bleeds into there, then it bleeds out from the switch. It goes out the sides. So this here is to block that gap and to do that. Here's the light switch one. So I just punch out the little doodad for the actual switch, and there's that. Here's one for the power sockets. So yeah, there's two here. We just punch it out like that, and there it is. Take the faceplate off, you stick this on, put the faceplate back on, and you're done. That's it. And this blocks any of that cold air that's in the walls from bleeding into the room. So there we go. Now, I have done 2 sockets in my room. Those are the ones that are on the walls. So there's one on one direction, and there's one on the wall that faces a direction that's, of course, 90 degrees from that. And then I have also put one of these switch ones onto the light switch that's next to the door. And I've only got one left to go, and it is a power switch. I'll probably use this guy because it's all ready to go. And it's on an inner wall because, and I'm going to put it on there mainly because that gap in that wall goes all the way up to the 3rd floor and the attic area, what there is of it. And of course, cold air from up there bleeds down between the walls. So I'm going to stop that. So there we go. And how much does it actually improve? Depending on the situation with the construction, it could make a huge difference. It might only make a little difference, but a difference nonetheless. So it's worth it, whether it's big or small. So I recommend grabbing some of these. Here's what it looks like. Made by Duck, socket sealers. Grab yourself one today. There you go. Folks in the South, may not need to, particularly, Louisiana, the Bayou, stuff like that. Or, some people say, oh, what about Texas? In general, no, but they have had a couple of bad winter events the past couple of years. And in general, don't need to, but you may want to. I don't know. Folks in Arizona, forget it. Particularly Arizona, Tempe, Phoenix, that area, and south down towards the border, stuff like that. So that was my little RenoQuest moment. Okay, so getting back on to the main topic of the video, and that is a new webcam. So, as you saw from what I just talked about a minute ago, it finally arrived, day of frustration, stuff like that. So, I have gone ahead and taken the box out of that packaging and threw the packaging away. So here it is right here, video webcam. So why don't we take a look at what we've got for, let me get this scrolled back up, and yep, there it is. And I am going to, of course, did I set this up beforehand? No. Such an idiot. Yeah, I am an idiot. So why don't we take a look at that real quick? So here we go. I went out and I purchased this off of Amazon, and it's a 1080p HD webcam, blah, so on and so forth. $19.99. I got it for $19.99 with a discount of 88%. I'm a Prime member, so that's awesome. And yeah, and we can actually see the typical price is $159.99. So was it the typical price using a 90-day median price that paid by customers for the product in the Amazon store? So Typically it goes for 160 bucks. I got it for 20. So what does that tell me? That tells me that they're getting rid of product because they're not selling it anymore. So, and look at this brand, Shinji Jipyo. It's like, yeah, it's one of those Chinese companies, no doubt, because it is made in China. So what does this thing have about it? Well, it's got 1080p HD clarity with a wide angle lens. That's good. Noise reducing built-in microphone. All right, well, that's nice, but I'm not using the microphone. Automatic light correction technology. So maybe it'll help make things a little brighter. I won't have to use my light off to the side here. Secure privacy cover protection. So it's built in, it just slides over. Seamless plug and play setup. Just plug it in. It's USB, so there you go. Eco-friendly and sustainable design. All right. Uses eco-conscious materials, so on and so forth. Yeah, so, and with the detail, okay. 90-degree wide angle. That's nice. Noise canceling, auto light correction, privacy shield, plug and play, eco-conscious. Just what I just talked about. Crystal clear, 1080p with 90-degree view. So we can see that. Yeah, they kind of try to simulate it. This is what it looks like at 720. And here's what it looks like at 1080. Ooh, that's a nice picture you put together. And then, of course, you know, you've got this here, 90 degrees. Okay, that's good. And then this one here. This looks like it's the size of a Chromebook because look at this thing. It's chonking. Smart light adjustment. Okay. Slide to block privacy shield. Shoo. There it is. That's nice. Universal USB plug and play. You just plug it in and away you go. And that's what the camera looks like. So there we go. Goes down here. Let's see. And yeah, we got additional information about the product down here. How much it weighs, 6.7 ounces. It's black. Special features that can be used in low light. There we go. And as far as the reviews go, it's 5 out of 5. 291 global ratings. And basically, it talks about ease of installation, image quality, value for the money, the 20 bucks, hello. Functionality, microphone quality, compatibility, privacy cover. Well, I'm going to be using this on Linux, so the compatibility is pretty good. I need it on Linux so I can talk to my guys on Jitsi. And of course, we got some pictures down here, and then we got the top reviews. So, man, like, yep, it's awesome. That's really great. All of that happy joy stuff. So there we go. All right, so got it right here. Nice big thick box, and so why don't we take it out, slide this off, and looking at this box, it's very durable. I mean, it's really good. It's nice and thick, very tough. On top, we've got our little technical manual. That, and then when we take it out, here's the bottom part of the box. There's that. Of course, we've got the little baggie. That, and here it is. Yeah, this thing is chonking. So, and of course, you know, it swivels, so it gives you everything there. It's got this, so you can mount it. It's nice and stiff, so it can make sure it has a nice grab to it. Stuff like that. And it's got grabby assistance things. And if you look at the front, here's the cover. It just slides over so that you can use it. And then when you're done, you just slide it back. And boom, it covers it. That way, it'll allow you to leave it plugged in. And the privacy cover is, you know, to cover it up. One little thing that I don't really like so much about the privacy cover is that when it's open all the way, you can see it covers up the bezel for the lens. Covers that up a little bit. I don't like that. The privacy cover should be off of the view completely. So for my purposes, I don't necessarily need the privacy cover because when I'm done with it, I unplug it. So I don't necessarily need that privacy cover. I could probably more than likely just pop that off. I might not. And then the front of it over here, it has a couple of LEDs, one for power, one for microphone, and then of course it has a little thing that says HD 1080p. So the goal for this is to replace the existing one that's being used right now to provide a better clarity picture. So get a good look at my surroundings and how this thing's behaving with the focus. It's doing this, and and how this is all behaving and everything like that. I'm hoping to improve on that with this, and why don't we do that? And we'll come back. All right, I'm back. Here we are. How's it looking? Talk about a really wide view. I mean, it goes all the way over to my carriage lamp, everything like that. I think my father had that made by a local lamp maker, because this is a kerosene lamp, carriage lamp, that was built in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and it's stamped on the top of it, and it was actually turned into a lamp. The carriage lamp stands on its base, and the actual lamp portion, the top part, that's actually on a thing that goes behind it and everything, so it doesn't damage it, because the carriage lamp itself is damaged to allow wires to go inside. And I'll go turn it on. See that? Oh yeah, it's mega bright because the top's on, so I'm gonna click it twice more because it's got a 3-way switch on it. So watch this. Yeah, and so the carriage lamp can actually act like a carriage lamp. It's got the red lens, which means that's the left side, or at least it should be. Might not be. On an aircraft, that means the left side, and on a boat, it means the left side. And then, of course, you can see the light shining up against the wall. That's so that it could see forward. So yeah, that's actually probably from the right-hand side of the carriage. So I'm going to shut that back off because that's really bright. And I shut the blinds on the slider, so that's not so bad. And I've got I've got this light here. I'm going to turn that on, bring that up, just to kind of, so you can just kind of see how everything is. So there's that. And of course, then I've got this, a microphone. There we go. Okay. So it is looking a lot better and everything. And of course, we've got a nice glare coming off of the power box on the proton pack, but it's going really nicely. Back here is lit up really nice. And so if you got this far, tell me which ESP card is there. All right, put it down below. I would appreciate that. Or you can tell me out on social media. All the links are down below. So this is the new webcam that I'm using, and I'm liking it, surprisingly. And there, yeah, over here you can see the star right up there. That is the flag of Acadia, my people. So there we go. I might actually tilt this up a little bit so it fits a little better. I don't know. I haven't decided. But this is the new webcam, and this is my new production camera going forward as far as this spot goes. And I'll be using it on Jitsi on Wednesday night for the hangout. And whenever we do supporter streams again, I'll be using the same camera and everything. So, yeah. There we go. Thank you for coming along. If you like it, give it a like, a thumbs up type thing, or a like, or whatever icon, because I'm on YouTube, Odyssey, and Rumble. Hopefully PeerTube at some point. I'm waiting for Disroot on their project for PeerTube before I publish anything over there. I'm also waiting for other stuff, but neither sense. So thank you very much. Skál. We'll talk to you soon.